You are not meant to just remember the words. It's not about being a parrot or a recorder. You can embody not just the words, but the meaning, the energy, the vibration of them. You can speak truth, your truth, the truth, so clearly, so congruently that your words change lives. And if you do that, guaranteed your life will change radically. Thing is, though, if you can't recall it, you can't embody it, you can't transmit it. So, I'm going to show you right now how to do so. Does that sound good or supremely awesome? Okay, so let's get more clear. When we can't memorize something, and by the way, everybody can. However, so many people have and I had this before too, a belief, I can't remember, it's really hard to memorize things, that's too much. And guess what happens if we have that belief? What reality do we create, right? So when we are not able to memorize and transmit, we actually lose so much of our influence, which means we deliver, we speak way less impactfully. We miss opportunities. We miss opportunities for impact and also for income, right? We also miss our ability to deepen our own knowledge and embodiment of stuff that matters to us and the people we care about. Now, how do we change this? My friend Onitis, a Native American chief in Florida, long time ago, he was a marathon runner. And I was amazed. I was like, marathon, 26 mile, you kid, that's so far. How do you do that? And he looked at me and said, well, Daniel, there's one part that's real simple. You gotta do the miles. So when it comes to memorizing, there are lots of cool fancy tricks, right? There's a way of stacking, and Darren Brown has a very cool technique of creating symbols and words and stacking and associating. And that's good. Like, it's cool to do that. And you can do it. There's all kinds of good tricks for it. And nothing replaces doing the miles. What does that mean? Practice. And not just practice. I mean, practice is simply like, okay, I've got something here. I would like to memorize this, right? Here's a whole bunch of words on here, and I'm going to speak them out. By the way, what does that mean? Simply speaking them out loud. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy. It's different than saying it in my head. It's more powerful when I say it out loud. Why? Because I'm speaking it and I'm hearing it at the same time. It's going out and in. So that's one, speaking it out and doing it repeatedly. Right? There's nothing that overcomes that in terms of importance. However, something that really landed for me when I read Daniel Coyne's, C-O-Y-N-E, The Talent Code. And he talks about how it's not just the 10,000 hour rule, right? We know that thing from Malcolm Gladwell, 10,000 hours of practice to create mastery. Yes, good. There's a lot of truth in that. However, it's not just about practice. It's about effective practice. And this was slap in the face for me, because when I was in high school and part of college, focused on musicianship, I practiced not nearly as much as I needed to be like really, really extraordinary, but I practiced, but I didn't practice that well, because what I would do is I would play a whole piece through. What Daniel Coyne brought forward is, in order to develop mastery, and what the top performers do, those that really develop their talent, is when they're practicing, let's just say they're practicing a 10-line piece of music. They practice the first line until they've got it nailed. They don't practice it, make a couple of mistakes, go on and do the second one, make a mistake, go on to the third one, make a couple of mistakes. No, because what does that do if we do that? We're practicing making mistakes. So, same thing here when we are memorizing. All right, got to say this now. I don't have to say it. I'm going to say it though. Huge difference between memorizing and knowing by heart. Memorizing, I know the words. I know my lines. I've said my lines enough. I can walk through the play. I can walk through the speech, and I know my lines. That's good. Next level deeper, know by heart. What does that mean? It's in our body. It's in our heart. It means something to us. So then it's not just reciting, repeating. It's living and expressing, which is really cool because then the words may change a little bit. It gets better though, deeper, because it's coming through us rather than just bouncing off us. Okay, so can you tell I get excited about this topic? Going back to it, until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back. So the first thing I do when there's something I would love to know by heart to be able to transmit is I read it out loud over and over again. And there's repetition, is it leads to mastery. There's no doubt about it. So if I do that enough times, it gets in there. And if I do it with some sort of theatrical expression, if I do it while moving my body, right? Maybe I've got some particular gestures that associate with it. That all helps it go deeper into me. Okay. And honestly, if you just do that, you will get to the place of memorizing and then knowing by heart. Just keep going. Right? Last thing I'll share with you on this for now is, again, you can find all kinds of cool techniques out there about this. Once you have it memorized, once you have it in your heart, or even between when it's memorized and knowing it by heart, you can employ a great technique I learned from my training as a dog trainer, right? Training dogs. I'm an amateur dog trainer. I love training dogs. Side note, tell me if you've ever heard this before. My working theory, a owner, and owner is a funny word, but the person who's with the animal, the animal's behavior and their relationship, the quote obedience, the ability of the animal to follow the commands, directives of the human, whether that works well or doesn't work well, that's analogous to the human's relationship to their own ego. Let that sink in for a minute. Tell me what you think. All right, now going back, here's what I learned from dog training. It's a concept called proofing. So if I work with my dog Kiki, which I did, Kiki the Wonder Poodle, in our backyard, and we trained and learned how to sit. That's the sign language for it. We learned down, lay down. We learned come, right? And we know the gestures for that. And she got really good at it, and she does it all the time. Cool. Not done. What do we do after that? We go out to the street. There might be people, there might be dogs. Do we still have the same effective relationship? Does she get distracted? Do I get distracted? Okay, well, so proofing it means, okay, we can do it here. Let's prove that we've really got that skill by doing it over here. Now that we can do it on the street, let's go to the dog park. Oh my goodness, so many distractions, smells and sounds and other beings. And if we can do it there, cool, right? So the same thing applies when memorizing and knowing by heart. It's one thing to do it in our bathroom, looking at the mirror. I can speak out my thing. What about when there's somebody there? What about when there are sounds? What about when there are distractions? Because guess what? When you deliver to a real audience, to real people, they're going to be distractions. It happens. So, and y'all, the power and value of this is immense, right? When I first learned that I could actually do this, because like a lot of you, I first believed I couldn't do it. However, something was important enough to me, and it was this one, right? And I still keep this on my desk 40 years later because I know it by heart. However, I keep it there. And I won't say the whole thing for you. This is from Goethe. The last part, though, is this. This is about creation and commitment and initiative and mystery and power and providence and luck and opportunity, right? Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, the moment one truly commits oneself, then providence moves too. A whole stream of events issues forth from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen guidance and assistance, which nobody would have dreamed would come their way. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, magic, and power in it. Begin it now. Now, did I say that exactly as it is on here? Nope. I changed a little bit. However, let me actually give you the comparison. How does that feel? How did that feel compared to until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which, right? It's so different when somebody reads something as compared to when they've got it and they transmit it, even if they change it a little bit. All right, I hope this is helpful for you. I encourage you, I applaud you. Your efforts in this regard, however far you get, will pay off in multiple ways in your life. Right? Anything worth knowing is worth knowing by heart, and it's worth sharing. Tell me what you think. Questions, concerns? How do you memorize, know by heart? Pop it in the comments. Love to hear from you. Bless you. I love you. See you on the flip side.